I always knew I was going to transfer. I didn't know where I was going to transfer, but I didn't really have a lot of time my senior year to pick a school because I had a tragedy happen in my family. My father passed away, and so then I knew I didn't want to be far away from my family. So I went to a state school just to get gen eds out of the way because I knew whatever I took for a major wasn't going to transfer over, so I did some gen eds. I think it was a little bit easier because I didn't really have a lot of friends at my old school. I was in their theater program, but I think they all knew at the end of the day that I was going to transfer. The differences were they no longer cared about my SAT scores, which was awesome because I have a 4.0, but my SAT scores were embarrassing. I don't even remember what they were. I think the process of applying was a lot easier because once you graduate high school, I feel you don't really know who you are because you've always been this kid who went to this school, who was in this town, and then you graduate and you're not that person anymore. You're not really sure who you are. So I think having that time at that other school really made me understand who I was so that when I could apply, I could better answer these questions and could better know myself. It was actually a toss between me coming here and going to Montclair State University because that was my mother's alma mater. They have an awesome theater program and it was very close to the city. Getting all of my stuff in, I was accepted to the school and I was like ready to go and I was ready to do my deposits and everything. And it was almost like they didn't want me to be there. Like I would call them and I would try to set everything up and it took them forever to get things through and get things going. And then it was almost like they accepted me because they had to, because of who I was, that I looked very good on paper and I was very good in my interview, but they didn't necessarily want the transfers. I chose Elon based on the faculty that was here and based on the reputation that it has and the opportunities that it has. They would email me updates about what was going on, and it was just nice because they wanted to know so much about me and they wanted to just share everything. They wanted to know more about me, but they also wanted to express what my experience was going to be here. They were very welcoming in it, and I remember I even would send them pictures of me in the show and be like, a little Disney love to Elon, and it was just from that I knew that it was the right decision because people don't go above and beyond anymore, and that's just how it was here. It was just like an easier process. Orientation was interesting for me. I dreaded it for weeks because I hated orientation the first time. I didn't want to do orientation another time. But it was really fun. This orientation was just better in that sense that it was more, they gave you more room. And I don't know if that was because we were transfers, so they knew we had stood on our own 2 feet before, but there was less hand-holding. They were more there to be a friend. We do what we can by making them feel normal by ignoring the fact that they're different. And I think that's a positive thing and that's a negative thing because there are oftentimes all the professors who'd be like, "Are you a first year?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm a sophomore, but I'm a transfer." They'd be like, "Oh, but you're a first year." And I'm like, "I'm 21. I'm not a first year. I'm sorry." So I think that is kind of a negative thing where they're like, "Oh, okay, you're one of them." But I think it does make it a little bit easier sometimes than you're just lumped in, so you forget that you're not like everybody else. I meet another transfer who is a transfer. It's like you guys are sisters. You come from the same place. You know each other.